And ABC7 business commentator Richard Stern is joining us now to tell us that we've had the biggest down day of 2017 so far. Richard.
Haley, you're exactly right, and I'm not trying to sugarcoat it, but I have to just give you a little bit of background. Not only is it the biggest drop that we've seen this year, it's the biggest drop that we've seen since before the presidential election. Think about that, early November. And the Dow Jones Industrial Average is only down by 0.6%. So we have seen predominantly up days and the down days relatively quiet. Today, well, I think we see certainly a reaction to some of the executive orders issued by President Trump over the weekend. We also saw problems with airline stocks. Delta had a little problem over the weekend. And oh, by the way, yes, indeed, we closed below 20,000. Let's take a look at the figures, and they're not terrible. They're not great either. There you see the Dow down 122 points. Again, we were down by 223 at the low of the day, so we did pick up 100 points. We were down 61 hundredths at 1%, closing at 19,971.13. That on heavy volume of 844 million shares. The NASDAQ was the biggest loser of the day, down more than 0.8%, 47 points at 5,613.71. That on volume of 1,702,000,000 shares. And the S&P almost exactly the same as the Dow, down by 0.6%, just under 14 points at 2,280.90. Well, I expect you might be familiar with a company by the name of Fitbit. They have different gadgets that you can look at your watch and see how many steps you've taken, how many calories you've used up, et cetera, et cetera. And they were really the first wearable company to come public. Well, guess what? They're not doing quite as well as they did early on. They've got lots of competition. The company's shares today fell by 16%. That's almost unheard of. And the reason, they came out with poor earnings for the second consecutive quarter. They announced that they're going to cut their workforce by somewhere between 5 and 10%. And Haley and Scott, I have to tell you, when a company announces earnings that are not only below expectations, but below for the second consecutive quarter, and there's no secret the competition that's out there in that business, I think there are rough times today and rough times probably ahead for Fitbit.
Between the competition and those studies that showed that they weren't that accurate. All of these trackers are not as accurate as we thought they were. That doesn't help either.
Well, tomorrow, Richard, we've got some big earnings reports, right?
We sure do, Scott. A company called ExxonMobil is going to announce their earnings before the market opens, and then a company by the name of Apple, if you're familiar with them, they're going to announce their earnings after the market closes. So maybe we'll get back to some good old Wall Street buying and selling based on earnings. Wouldn't that be a pleasant change?
That sounds good. All right, Richard, thanks so much.
You're welcome.